start to give the countdown from 5.
We saved around 2,000 patient lives.
It can take whoever you are and upskill you in all kinds of math.
From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Good evening and welcome to Marquette Now. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. I'm Gabriel Cicerega.
And I'm Nancy Flaherty. It's so great to have you with us for our first show of the year. Now, you caught some visuals of our headlines right off the bat, but we're going to go into more of those in depth as we continue along. All right.
And we begin tonight with a historic event in Marquette athletics taking place just about 30 minutes from now. The women's volleyball team is set to play the Wisconsin Badgers in front of a sold-out Pfizer Forum.
Now, Marquette is hoping to set the record for the highest attended college volleyball game in state history. Marquette Wire's TJ Dysart joins us now live from Pfizer Forum with more on the build-up to the match. Now, how's the atmosphere out there, TJ?
Yeah, Nancy, when I tell you I can hardly hear you, I'm telling you I can hardly hear you. As you said, we're about 30 minutes away from the first serve of the evening. And like I said, I just want you to take a listen. Take a look behind me. There's actually quite a lot of red tonight, and there's a lot at stake this evening. Now, Marquette obviously looking for their first win against a ranked team this entire season. It's going to be a tricky one. They are 2-22 on the record against UW-Madison and 1-6 for these Badgers, because just under a year ago, they took that very record when 16,883 fans packed the Kohl Center when they played Florida. Now, Pfizer Forum has about a maximum capacity of 17,500. So if these seats do sell out tonight, then it will be a record-breaking performance. But we won't know until the mid-game announcement that's going to be made by the Pfizer Forum. We'll keep you updated. Back to you, Nancy, in the studio.
Thanks, TJ. And now we will have more extensive coverage on that big match against Wisconsin later in our show.
Meanwhile, athletics is sending out additional basketball tickets to select students this Thursday. This comes after an IT security issue prevented an email about the final sale of tickets from making it to all the students.
Eligible students who did not receive the email will have the opportunity to get their tickets starting at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning.
We want everybody to be there, obviously, to create the best environment for our team, and
sure.
They feed off the students' energy a ton, if you haven't seen that already. So,
now, despite the email error, available tickets sold out in 10 minutes. In the event that student section becomes full, student section tickets can also be used in standing room only sections. Gabriel Cicerega, did you get any tickets?
Of course, could never miss out on some Marquette basketball, Nancy. Meanwhile, the blood battle between Marquette and Butler University continues for a second year in a row. Over the course of the 2023-24 school year, the university alongside Varsity Blood Center of Wisconsin will host 10 blood drives within residence halls.
So our goal for Marquette overall is about 500 units. So of course this is our kickoff drive. We're hoping to see about 100 donors come through the door today, and throughout the entire semester, hopefully we'll see that 500.
Blood drive competition last year, Marquette's community donated 434 units of blood. The combined effort with Butler led to 2,367 saved lives. If interested in donating, the next drive will be on October 3rd.
I just scheduled my blood appointment, actually, like a donation appointment. I am so excited to participate as be part of the blood battle.
And that is absolutely what we love to hear. Speaking of what we love to hear, MUPD Patrol Zone is altering its patrol zone starting June 1st, 2024. They're limiting the areas they oversee, reducing their boundaries on the eastern and western sides of campus. This comes following the university's sale of land south of Michigan Street for the new soccer stadium and entertainment district. MUPD is saying that they hope the reduced patrol zone will lead to faster response times and will make patrols more accessible. The university asked that students be aware of the changes when considering renting and leasing for the 2025 school year. And turning now to weather, we can't be outside Pfizer Forum with the volleyball fans. So Nancy, how will we know what the weather is?
Thank goodness for our weather anchor tonight. Joining us now is Ruby Mulvaney. How's it looking out there, Ruby?
Milwaukee has the September chill and the summer sunshine. Let's take a look at tonight's forecast. It's mostly clear with a low of 48 degrees. Humidity is sitting at 54% with a 28% chance of rain, and the east-northeast wind keeping calm at 4 to 7 miles per hour. On to some state overnight lows. We've got the lowest temperature in Minocqua at 34 degrees, with the highest right here in Milwaukee at 48. Let's see our state tomorrow highs. We've got the highest in Eau Claire over at 78% degrees, and then the coldest here in Milwaukee. Now, for tomorrow's forecast, campus will be sunny with a high of 69 degrees. Humidity will be around a 58% with a 10% chance of rain and winds at around 9 miles per hour. Last but not least, let's check out our 5-day extended weather forecast Friday. So for Friday, it will be our hottest day with a high of 76 and a low of 59, and then some chillier days moving on to Sunday and Monday. So bring a jacket because the high will only be 70. Make sure you have your jackets, Marquette. That's all for weather, but don't go anywhere because we will be back with more after this.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
And welcome back to Marquette Now. Each week, we like to highlight a member of the Marquette Wire and the stories they've been covering over the past week in our Down to the Wire segment.
That's right, Cesarica. Today, we're joined live from Pfizer Forum by Marquette University radio audio sports producer, what a mouthful, Trevor Hilson. Now, Trevor, you're on the call today. How ear-piercing is it down there courtside right now?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Trevor does amazing. an amazing job working doing the sports audio producer. So he's going to be handling and basically giving a play-by-play of the show or of the game this evening. I need our sports multimedia journalist to clue me in on show or game. But yeah, he really offers a play-by-play on that situation. So be sure to tune in to Marquette University Radio tonight to hear more from Trevor Hilson. All right.
Couldn't have said it any better. Nancy, obviously, Trevor Hilson, thank you so much for joining us. As little as you did.
Hear us. All right. All right, we'll be right back in one moment.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Everyone, I'm now joined here in the newsroom with members of our very own volleyball panel. Now joining us tonight are Emma Kroll and Gabriel Cicerico once again. Thank you all for joining us on Marquette Now, but first, the Golden Eagles have started their season with a less than ideal record in their non-conference schedule at 2-5. What does this team need to do to reverse their fortunes? All right, I'm going to first throw it to you, Emma, on what your thoughts are about this. And once again, Emma Kroll is currently our executive social media producer, but not only that, she has the lowdown on everything to do with our women's volleyball team. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so their hit percentage is down this year. The Marquette volleyball team is just not swinging their arms well enough. So last year they were hitting about 287. This year they're only swinging 174. That is a huge change. They averaged 14 kills per set last season, and they're only averaging 11 kills per set. They need to find their offensive rhythm tonight if they're going to stand a chance against this tough Badgers team.
Absolutely. Now, Cicerico, what's your take on this situation? Emma gave us the numbers. What do you got? I see a notepad. What do you got?
Don't worry about the notepad. Obviously, Emma is totally correct. But let's be honest, right? The girls have played some very, very good teams in Tennessee, Kansas, Purdue, who are all nationally ranked at this point. They're going to be just fine. Once we get into the game today and hopefully in some Big East play, I think Marquette is really going to step it up. But it starts with the pass. Once I think our liberos really kind of get going and get into the swing of things for the season, I think our team is going to have the Marquette team is going to have a much better and easier time getting to some of those big swings that they had been getting in previous seasons.
All right, now, I want to hear your input on Cicerico's opinion.
No, listen, I agree with you that the ranked teams have been tough, but you seem to forget that Marquette went into this season ranked number 12 nationally, and they have completely fallen off of that ranking. Purdue is only ranked 25. Realistically, they should have been able to beat them at the time, and they were unable to do so because they were unable to pull through in that third set. They did lead, they won the first set, and then they went back and forth, but they were unable to finish out the game. As long as they can finish out the game and finish out sets, we're going to see a much improved Marquette team tonight.
It'll be interesting to see if that will unfold with Wisconsin this evening. Now, one of the things I am dying to talk about is there hasn't been much of a shakeup between the team from last year to this year, to my understanding, except one of the newest additions to the squad this year, Sarah Kushner. She's a libero from Illinois State. Now, how has Kushner looked so far as the starting libero? I kind of want to hear, personally, my take on Kushner is that she has the skills. She spent 4 years at Illinois State. She decided to take her last year of eligibility here at Marquette. She has had many championships, even in high school. She had most valuable player on both her junior and senior year. I think she has the history to back it up. But that's my take on it. Emma, I just heard your input, so I'm going to throw it back to Cicerico. What do you think?
Kushner has been kind of thrown into the fire right away. I mean, we talk about how difficult of a schedule Marquette has had, before conference play, but she has to be better. I mean, as the starting libero, she has less digs than our setter Yadira Enchante and one of our right side / opposite hitters, Ella Foti. That's just unacceptable. Her job is to pass the ball, and she needs to be doing it consistently. I also think there's a bit of some hesitation that we've seen from coach, as libero Jaden Garrison, who played a lot of DS last year, has been splitting time. It's kind of hard to get a rhythm when you're only playing half the time. I think coach really needs to go with either Kushner or Garrison and leave it, end all be all, one play, so they can get some rhythm going and Marquette can move forward.
Okay, I'll pause. For those at home who aren't as familiar with volleyball terms, you said DS. What does that mean?
The DS is they only play in the back row, right? They're the back three. They come in for the right side who goes out, and then they only pass in the back. That's their one job. But instead of playing just DS, Jaden Garrison has also played libero, putting on the libero jersey. It's that different color jersey, so that
I know that.
For our viewers who don't.
Right.
So that she can also pass all the way around. And I want to see Kushner back there for all 6 rotations around the court and really playing at her best.
That's a great analytical take. Emma, what are your thoughts on this?
So, not to overshadow you or anything, but DS and libero are basically the same thing.
Yes.
So Jaden does have the experience more than Sarah would. Sarah played 4 years at ISU, which you mentioned, but as an outside hitter. As someone who was an outside hitter and did play all the way around, you're not focused on the defensive side. That is not a thing. You don't have to be the best defensive player to play all around outside, because you want to be focused on your swings. It's all about the kills for an outside. And she had 208 digs last season, but she only scored 4 digs against Tennessee. That is absolutely abysmal, in my opinion, for an libero, especially since you're supposed to be the core of the court. I've also noticed Ryan Tice likes to play her in 6, which, for those who don't know, is like the back middle. Typically, liberos are going to play the left side. So it's just very interesting lineup.
I feel like we've gotten great takes on positioning here. I am rooting for Sarah Kushner this evening, hoping this will meld the team back together. Now, Emma, Gabriel, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, let's take a closer look at the #1 in the country Wisconsin Badgers team. We wanted to get an insight from someone who has followed the team closely this season. Marquette Wire executive news producer Andrew Hubbock sat down with sports reporter Dylan Goldman from the Daily Cardinal, a student media publication at University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Well, first question I wanted to ask you here today is kind of the Badgers are coming in with a 7-0 record here. What is it about this team that's clicking this early on in the season?
Well, I mean, this team is just, from an objective perspective, is pretty remarkable to watch. I mean, they've won 4 straight Big Ten titles. It's a very veteran-laden team. You're not going to find many freshmen, many sophomores. It's a lot of seniors, a lot of graduate students. They just play well together. It's that simple. They're pretty top-heavy. It's not a big, it's not a lot of depth on the roster. But, boy, are there some star players. You've got Sarah Franklin, their outside hitter, who's about to get 1,000 kills on her career. She's a Michigan State transfer, been with Wisconsin for a couple of years. She's an incredible player. And the thing about this team is that there's cohesion. And it's all coming together this year so far. It's early, but they are 7-0 to start the year, and it seems like they're on track for another very successful season.
That's right. I wanted to actually talk about those 2 new transfers coming in. How have these new additions really meshed into this new lineup?
They have. I asked Kelly Sheffield, the coach, about that the other day, and he said, they're great players and they're playing like we expect them to. They've got a lot of accolades. Temi Thomas Ilara is a veteran player. She came over from Northwestern. She's been in all Big Ten. Pretty confident. She's also had second team All-American accolades too. She is a very good player. She just really has that ability from the service line. That is her specialty. When she comes up to the service line, the crowd it's like a moment in time that everyone is just captivated by her serves. There's just a power to them that you can't explain or teach. She had 6 service aces the other day against Arizona, tied a school record. So she's just a really captivating and dynamic player. She plays all over the place. Carter Booth really is great in the middle. She's getting 8 or 9 blocks every game. She's right up there in the Big Ten in terms of those rankings. She's only a sophomore, so she's got a lot of room to grow, but she was on one of the all Big Ten teams last year in Minnesota. So they really just provided just more dynamic ability in that lineup and really have complemented Wisconsin's current veterans very well.
So a lot of reporters here at the Marquette Wire kind of believe that this could be a sea of red in Fiserv Forum for Wisconsin fans. The Badgers are 9-2 in sets at home right now. How big would it be for for the Badgers to have this home away from home advantage over here in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I mean, the players will tell you a lot about the fan support. You come over to the UW Fieldhouse, it's packed every game. And I could see it being a lot of red in that arena. Obviously, #1 team, in-state rivalry. There's a lot of, UW-Madison alums all over the state. And so I could see it definitely playing an advantage.
What are your keys to the match for the Badgers?
So I think one important key is getting out to a fast start. And that's huge in any match, because I feel like, if Wisconsin imposes their will early on, that can kind of put a lot of pressure on teams that, sometimes they give away the first set. Teams have more belief that they can take down Wisconsin. And so I think it's important for them to get out to a fast start.
And usually here I would ask you like a score prediction, but we're watching these teams just go in complete opposite directions. So I have to ask you, do you see anything other than a 3-0 sweep for Wisconsin?
I mean, I definitely think it's a possibility. I think I could see it being 4 sets. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some emotions, playing an in-state rival, playing the #1 team. I think Marquette could definitely pick off a set. I would be very surprised if this one goes 5 sets. But you never know. There has been challenging games this year for Wisconsin, so it'll all depend. But I think Wisconsin wound up winning this one 3-1. I think Marquette can pick off a set in an emotional in-state rivalry.
All right, so a repeat from the score line from last year, I see. All right, well, Dylan Goldman from the Daily Cardinal, covering the #1 ranked in the country Wisconsin volleyball team. Thank you so much for joining us on Marquette Now.
Thank you very much,
Andrew. On Marquette Now, an interview with Marquette Director of Athletics, Bill Scholl.
All right, what Marquette Athletics is planning for future events, Marquette Now will return. I don't know what that sentence was at all.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
What are you looking for?
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Gabriel Sestrica.
And I'm Nancy Flaherty. We are just over 20 minutes until Marquette and Wisconsin take the floor at Pfizer Forum. I think it's creeping even closer. Both sides are coming into the match heading in opposite directions.
Previewing the match at Pfizer Forum are Marquette Wire's Executive Sports Editor, Jack Albright, and MUTV Executive Sports Producer, Kristen Parisi.
Good evening, Marquette Nation. It's finally here. Marquette Volleyball versus Wisconsin Volleyball inside of Pfizer Forum. The first time that the volleyball team has played here. This is the home of Marquette men's basketball, but tonight it's all about volleyball. And Jack, this is a very anticipated match. It's been sold out for so long. So what is the overall emotions and like adrenaline going into this one tonight?
I think it's going to be a really, really good matchup. Could be the largest attended regular season volleyball match in an indoor arena. The state of Wisconsin hype, Milwaukee's hype, everybody's hyped. I can't wait.
So what is the matchup looking like tonight for Marquette and for Wisconsin?
This season is not gone the way Marquette hoped it would. 0-5 against ranked teams, while Wisconsin's about as good as anybody. I mean, better than everybody, #1 in the country. Really an avalanche that no one can slow down. So
Yeah, who is Marquette going to have to count on tonight if they want to get a win?
Definitely Carson Murray. She's going to have a big game tonight because she's going up against 6'9" middle blocker Anna Smrek. That's a tough matchup. I saw her standing near the net. She was basically as tall as it. If Carson Murray can have a big game, that's going to be huge for the Golden Eagles.
All right, and I know it's going to be a tough one tonight. Marquette unranked in Wisconsin, the #1 team in the country. But what is your prediction tonight?
I see Wisconsin winning 3-0 in straight sets.
All right, well, we'll hold you to it. We'll see what happens after the game. But during the game, be sure to follow MU Wire Sports on Twitter for all of our live coverage and MU Radio for the live call of the game. Until then, enjoy the match and good night, Marquette.
Our thanks to Kristen and Jack for that one. You can catch their post-game coverage on marquettewire.org and on Wire social media pages after the match.
Kristen Parisi also caught up with Marquette Vice President and Director of Athletics, Bill Scholl, for more on how this game came to be and if we can expect to see more events like this in the future.
The first question is for this Wisconsin volleyball game, Wisconsin Marquette in Pfizer, kind of how did that process kind of form to be, and why did the athletics department want this kind of game to be in Pfizer?
Well, it actually, I think, started with a little bit of conversation around whether or not Fiserv, could be a home for one or more of our games other than men's basketball or even maybe some NCAA volleyball events or those sorts of things. And one conversation led to another. And the idea of, hey, let's, we have a partner a little ways up the road in Wisconsin who's, one of the ultimate top programs year in and year out, and we play them every year. And this year happened to be our home game, so we had control over where we played the games. When this first came up, I was thinking, wow, it could be cool. I don't know whether or not we can really fill it, but why not give it a try?
If you look at it in general, women's sports in this country and in college are on the rise, and
no question.
We've already seen it for volleyball. We've seen it for especially now this Marquette volleyball game. How do you think that you can carry the excitement that fans might gather from Marquette volleyball into the other women's sports across this campus that really have also been on the rise? I mean, the basketball team has been at the top, and the lacrosse team is also on the rise as well.
I think particularly about our students, our Marquette students, they have so many things going on in their lives. You got to find a way to cut through some of that clutter. Remind them that they have classmates and schoolmates that are playing these games, and it sure would be great if they show up and support them. But I think it's something we have to really stick with, and it is one of our priorities to try to continue to build build our women's programs into not just high quality programs on the courts and floors, but in fields, but also the kind of programs that fans want to come out and watch. And that certainly that they could come where maybe a women's basketball game with somebody like Connecticut could end up back in Fiserv. So there's opportunities out there that we have to kind of stay in touch with.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences can make us stronger.
Thank you for that fascinating interview, Bill Scholl, and to our very own executive sports producer, Kristen Parisi. I'm Gabriel Sisterica, and that's all we have for tonight.
And I'm Nancy Flaherty. While the world holds out for a hero, Marquette will be holding out for a libero. Good night, Marquette.